So how hot is it in the UK right now?
One app says 30, one app says 29, and a third app, because has 31. So 30.
Wow, in September. And we'll move over to our Barcelona contingent. Perchy, what's the weather like
It's
over?
currently saying 27 degrees in Barcelona. Cool day. It's a really cool day today.
Yeah, it was. So in Cyprus now, weather in. We're recording, by the way. This makes for great podcasting. There's no way it's 30 degrees. No, I mean it's 30 degrees in the shade. It's I would say it's probably a cool 34, but because the UK is at 30, it probably feels like 40. What would it feel like here? Right, let's get into the swing of things. And the first point on the running order is the Burning of Burnley. I'm sure that every other podcast has talked about this. Over to you guys. What did you think about that game? In fact, I'll ask another question. When we went 1-0 down, how did you feel? Do you remember how you felt?
Yep.
How did you feel?
I know I was a bit disappointed because I thought it was poor defending from Porro, but I'll be honest, it was a good goal. Let's be honest. I mean, Porro probably should do better, but it was a good goal. Sometimes you just got to put your hands up and go, do you know what? That's a decent goal. I'm forgetting the fella's name. I remember his name, but I keep forgetting it. But that lad out on that left-hand side was he was all right, to be fair. Good ball in and 1-0 down, and you go, do you know what? Bounce back, and we'll get on to that, I think.
Ross, how do you feel, mate?
I felt once we went 1-0 down, I thought Angie's going to tear into them. It still took us about 10-20 minutes just to really kick into gear, but once we did, we absolutely tore them a new one. I mean, even Company after the game said that they just couldn't live with us at points, and it was great. It was lovely to hear about that.
That's a great compliment, right?
God, yeah. That's about our own little club, and it's, we're just running along, just happy being in second. Oh, it's great days.
So, did any of you see the questions that came in? Because I'll ask one from Super Mario 222, who's on Reddit, and he says, "How much longer do you give Richie before you're ready to move on from him?"
Are we talking in minutes or days or what?
I don't know. Maybe that you can say the next game, or you'll give him, as Ross says, till Christmas.
Christmas. If a bid comes in now from Saudi Arabia, I'm accepting it. I'm not. And you think I'm not just saying it for anything? I mean that. If 50, 60 million pound comes on the table right now, you accept it, don't you? Surely.
But you accept it without having a striker?
Yeah. Richarlison's basically having not a striker.
I see your point. But he does other things, right? You know that. I know that.
Like what?
What? So I know that goal scorers are supposed to, clues in the name or in the title, score goals. But he does do a lot of the running and the pressing. He's very good at the pressing side of things, and that allows us to build the attacks. So yeah, I mean, would I start with him against Sheffield United? Absolutely not. I would go with Son, right? Definitely. But when we're playing against teams who are not medium block, but a low block. Who in the league plays a low block, by the way? Other than West Ham, who
Sheffield
just...
United?
Do they really play with a low block?
No,
I can see them doing it.
I haven't seen...
They're going to have to, aren't they? They're going to have to start playing that way. But yeah, but when we say that, though, I'm sorry, I'm not buying this Richarlison thing. Burnley proved, to a shadow of a doubt, that this man isn't... It just shows that you have to play Heung-min Son down the middle. I've been crying out for it for weeks on weeks, saying you need to play him down the middle. He does it. He goes and gets a hat trick. Son, for me, showed he played very Harry Kane-esque. Very Harry Kane-esque, actually, by a lot of his play, which was impressive, by the way. Some of the way that he just dropped off in the 6-yard box. The second goal specifically, when Solomon just whips it in across goal. He just drops off. Any other old Son would have just got in last man onto it and probably would have been caught out. But I thought he was absolutely brilliant against Burnley. But this is why I say I don't care. I'm not one of these. I'm not sentimental, right? So I don't really care. Listen, if a bid comes in for Richarlison, yeah, accept it, personally.
And again, I'll ask you the question. That's without us having a striker.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if Richarlison goes and Son gets injured, what do you do?
I don't know. Find someone that can score at least one goal because Richarlison can't even seem to do that. Like I'm not. I get the sense.
It's harsh. Harsh from the Perchy.
Harsh. He scored against 3 teams since being at this football club. He's been here over a year. He scored against 3 teams. Like all you need, like you know, it's bad when realistically the only thing you need to do is score 1 league goal to match him. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's crazy when you think back and think about it. Whether we want to suggest scored 1 goal in over 1,000 minutes or something stupid, it's crazy. Like. But I get the point. Listen, we're not going to. By the way, we're not going to sell him. It's not. That's not happening. I'm not. My point being is I don't. I'll be honest. I don't. I don't care. I'm politely saying I don't care. If we were sold tomorrow, I'll be like, okay, bye. Thanks for absolutely nothing. Goodbye. We move on. Let's try and actually recoup. We should be. I expect us now, between now and the end of the season at least, to have had a striker target. And a new striker comes in so we can get this guy off our books. It has to happen, right? You can't have someone not scoring goals.
I still think he's going to get 15 goals this season.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
I'd happily put that a £50 bet on that, or whatever you want to say for the charity of your choice. That won't happen.
Right, charity of James Payton. Okay, I'll take. Are you sure?
Yeah,
I'll take that bet.
Score 15 goals in all competitions. Just remember, like, bear in mind, is we're not in Europe this season, so a lot of those have to come in the league. So you're suggesting that he's going to average just short of 1 in 2.
Well, he's only got 14 to go for me to get that 50 quid off you. So
yeah, exactly, 14. I mean, exactly. That's my point, though. Like, if it was any other player, I'd go, maybe not, but. When has he ever scored more than 13 league goals?
I know, but this team is built for people to score goals. I know it's not just the front striker. It's not dependent on that. I just can see him. Look, the guy clearly needs to get his head right. Like when he came on, you could see that he was. I think he's in his own head.
What it is he's a very. Listen, this is going to sound absolutely harsh, by the way.
You're going to say you just don't think he's any good, right?
No. When he came on, I saw a player that I went, you're not in this for the team. And people might say this is very harsh. I saw a player going that was pissed off that Heung-min Son scored a hat-trick, right? That's what I saw. I saw a player when I'm annoyed because you've now proper made me look like an idiot. That's the player I saw. I didn't see a player come on the pitch and go, do you know what? There's no pressure now. Let me go and play my game. This is a player that came on annoyed that someone has done something that he couldn't do. That's what I saw.
Right.
Listen, people might say that's really harsh, but that's what I saw.
So I agree with what you mean. I do. But then again, I've also seen Richarlison be the type of player that's all about the team, that's all about fighting. You know, I've seen that Richarlison. I think we all have.
I haven't.
Haven't you?
Where?
He's trying too hard.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think he's in his head. He's in his own head.
I think he's just trying too hard.
I mean,
I
can argue with that all. If I'm being absolutely brutally honest, he's just not a very good football player. Like, he's just not that good. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm being really harsh, and people that will comment about this and be like, oh, I'm this, that, and the other. That's fine. I just sit back and go, Heung-min Son proved that you can do it in this system. The amount of chances he had were... But he didn't have any more chances that Richarlison didn't have in any other game. That was the difference. The difference is the quality of Heung-min Son completely overshadowed the poor ability that was of Richarlison. Like my point being is that Son didn't have didn't have any more opportunities on goal than Richarlison hasn't had in any of the games he started, right?
So are you telling me now that you're not going to tune in at 3:45 a.m. on Saturday to watch Brazil versus Bolivia? Is that what you're saying to me?
Oh yeah, because this is what's going to happen. By the way, he'll probably go and score a couple of goals against an absolute bang average national side, and everyone's going to go, "There you go, we can do it for Brazil." Yeah, because Brazil play absolutely crap teams most of the time in international games. They very rarely go and play the Argentinas in the world or the Uruguays of the world. Do you know what I mean? He'll go and score. He'll go and score. Do you know what? I can imagine him scoring a hat trick against Bolivia. And then everyone will be going, "Oh, Perchy's in the mud, see, he is good." Yeah. I'm not being funny. Their strikers at the moment are awful.
All right, I've taken your bet, and our 7.5 listeners are witness to that. So I think he will score another 14 goals. I think that what needs to happen is sometimes in life, when you're a bit stuck and you're in this vicious circle, it's difficult to get out of it on your own, right? And that can be about work or relationships or whatever. And right now, we don't know what's going on in his personal life. Maybe nothing. Maybe he's got a great personal life, right? He seems like the kind of person who's got loads of people around him and blah, blah, blah. But as Ross says, he's trying too hard. And instead of just saying, I'm just going to take my mind off this and see if it happens and just trust in my skill and my ability, because he's a professional footballer. And he didn't get there because he won a competition, right? He got there because he's good, and I think he's very good. I just think he needs to, or someone, not him actually, someone needs to help him out a little bit. And like maybe my former boss, Tony Robbins, can say to him, you should have a session with him actually, you can afford him, and he'll help him out, right? He helped out Andre Agassi when Andre was, he was great at the beginning, and then he dropped off, didn't he? No one even remembered who he was, and he came back and he was fantastic. And sometimes you need that external help, someone to say to you, look, forget about your ability. We understand, everyone can see it, you have it, it's clear, right? But what you need to do is, let's look at why you are feeling the way you do. For instance, as I was saying earlier, that you could see at some point throughout the game that he was pissed off. You could see it. And it was like, I just thought to myself, come on, mate, don't be pissed off. The team is enjoying this. So just try and enjoy it. But all he kept thinking about was, why is it not working for me? And, sometimes in life, when that happens, instead of looking at yourself, you then start looking at others. And that's not a path that really you should go down, because then it gets to the point where you start to think it's other people's fault and not yours. Or maybe it's a combination. Maybe it's just chance and opportunity. I don't know. The game was great. I wasn't unhappy. A lot of people were unhappy with that second goal that went in. I wasn't. I just sort
good
of
goal. I thought it was a really good goal actually.
Yeah.
I thought all of the 7 goals in the game were quality. Genuinely, from a build-up standpoint, I thought that goal was really good.
What about Romero's, eh?
Oh,
Ross, your turn to
goal.
talk. What a goal, right?
I watched it with my son, and he was like, "Was that Sonny?" And I was like, "Mate, come on!" And but the finish, where the hell has that been? That was beautifully struck. I mean, there was a bit of a confusion. Then it was wriggling around the box, and then it just dropped to him. And I think Prime Kane would have been happy with that, but screamed at him. But he's come on leaps and bounds as Romero. I mean, for someone who was seen as an aggressive liability almost, he's settled into this vice captaincy brilliantly. So you do wonder if that's a bit of a masterstroke again from Big Ange, where he's seen this raw talent and said, if I give him some responsibility, it will calm him. But he's been brilliant. He's been absolutely brilliant. And that finish just really has summed it up in the last month.
Yeah, I thought he's been great. Look, we're going to talk about James Maddison towards the end of the show, right? I think we've got a bit to say about him. But let's talk about Romero a bit, and I'll tell you why I want to talk about him. How old is he now? Is he 24? Am I right in saying?
Might be younger.
23 maybe.
25.
Romero, Tottenham. No, it's 25.
Yeah,
So yeah, he's 25, and he was 25 in April. So he'll be 26 soon, right? And he's coming to the point where when you start to hit the age of 25, 26, doesn't just mean as a footballer, you start to realise what everything's about. Hopefully you do anyway. And I think we call that maturing, and that's what he's doing. I think that he's starting to mature. And I really hope that we enjoy him throughout his best years. Thank God for Daniel Levy, because he'll never let him leave, will he? Not until he gets the right bid in. So at least we've got that to say. Anything else about the game? Any negative points? Not that I really want to talk about anything negative.
No, I thought.
No.
Actually, do you know what? I thought we was absolutely outstanding. I'll put it out there. I thought we were brilliant. I thought there was so many positives. I can't think of a negative, to be honest. I thought everyone had a very good game. Everyone in that 11 that started had a very, very good game.
So let's move on to your views on the transfer window. Ross, let's go over to you. Everyone's, like every podcast I've listened to, rates it, gives it a rating. So let's do the same. How would you rate this transfer window out of 10?
It's not as bad as 6. It's not as good as a 7. So it's a 6.5 because, and that's not. I don't think that's anyone's. It's got better in the last week because we've managed to offload Sanchez and Ndombele. Thank you, Galatasaray. Even though Sanchez, I'm surprised, did go in the end, but if Ange believes in Ashley Phillips and hopefully Alfie Dorrington, then that's great. But yeah, it's been good. It's been absolutely good. With nothing better, nothing worse than that. The fact that we managed to get in Vicario, who's proved brilliant, he's getting better every game. Van der Ven, Maddison, who I know you'll come on to in a minute, and Solomon, and all these players. It's really looking positive, and the fact that Ange is doing it his way. And we haven't got any kind of, was that a club signing rubbish anymore? It's very positive and it's going in the right direction. And you're not going to do it all in one window, as a lot of people have said. And hopefully this time next year we'll have that striker we all crave and backups here, there, and everywhere.
6.5. Don't you think that's low?
Wait till you come to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'm scared now. Go on then.
I would have said at the moment it's still a 5 to 6. Anything between 5 and a 6 at the moment, because just to sort of touch on what Ross is saying, I think the signings, you've got to remember, transfer windows can't be just judged on who you sign. It's got to be a collective, right? On ins, outs, and all that lot. So for me, and it's also got to be on timings of signing. For example, it took so long to get Van der Ven done. That should have been done ages ago. So you have to judge all of it collectively.
Yeah, but does it matter, mate? Does it matter? Because
massively. Matters.
Yeah, but look at he's hit the ground running.
Yeah.
If he hadn't, I would say fair enough.
But,
I would say your point's valid, but.
Yeah, but my point on that is we didn't know that, right? His first kick of a ball for Tottenham was against Brentford away. So my point is players need time to gel in the squad. Listen, we got lucky in air quotes that actually it fell quite well for him. For me, I still put it that way. I think the right thing was to get rid of the likes of Ndombele and Sanchez. They're awful. I think both of them are awful. They should have gone ages ago. But you have to be balanced and go, well, we are an injury or two away, and you're going to have an absolute issue. You've got to throw in a 18-year-old kid and a Ben Davies at centre half, and then you go, okay, that worries me. So my point being is we haven't fully done it all. We've done good things, but when I'm seeing people going, oh, we've got 9 out of 10 window, no, you've got to judge it all. Some of the players, by the way, you can judge on that. I think the likes of a Maddison signing is a good 8 out of 10 signing because he's transformed us. Van der Ven in the same conversation. Vicario a little bit less, but still in the same conversation. We've signed good players, but we haven't gone and massively, I want to say improved in the sense of we haven't got a squad yet. We've got a good 11. We're very much in the Pochettino era where we had a very, very good 11. But the second 2 or 3 of those 11 came out, and we saw it last Tuesday against Fulham, right? We saw it against Fulham. When we start shuffling the pack a little bit, then there's a problem. So until... I like to judge things very much on that sort of scale.
And what was your rating out of 10?
I'll go 5.5. I'll be nice. 5.5. 6. Quarter 6 then if you want.
Do you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going up. I'm going 7 because I forgot about Brennan Johnson.
Of course.
All right, I'll tell you before I give you my rating. You want to say something else, mate?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about Brennan Johnson. He's really good.
Did you just call him Brendan?
No, Brennan. Oh no! I've had a few discussions with a 10-year-old boy about this over the weekend. He kept calling it Brendan. I said no, it's Brennan. He's gonna. I think he will settle in so quick. He'll be like James Maddison. Whether he'll be, I don't think he'll be as good as James Maddison, but I think he will really push that striking front three up. I think he'll really, really help us.
Where do you play him?
I don't think it matters.
It does.
I think you start.
I think it does, mate. I mean,
I think it's so interchangeable though. If you have, say, Decky, hurts himself. I think that front three of, say, a Johnson, Son, and Solomon could be so interchangeable that you'd start him on the right, and then you just say, right, if I need to change it over, I will, and that's what I'd do with him.
All right, so I'll go through these transfers, right? So we got Brennan Johnson. I'm looking at Transfer Market, and unfortunately, it's in euros. Is there a?
So am I.
Yeah. So, but Brennan Johnson, 55 million euros. What's that? 50 million? 47?
It was 47. It was 47.5 million, weren't it?
So in total, we've spent 248 million euros or 212 million pounds, right? So Brennan Johnson. I'm not the type of person who will say, oh, he's great or whatever until maybe even after a season. Or I'm gonna contradict myself when we talk about James Maddison in a bit. We've got James Maddison in at 40. I will count Porro and Kulusevski. You have to,
yeah,
right? You have to count them, whether they've been with us or not, because they were loans and then they were made permanent. Mickey, Vicario, Veliz, Phillips, Manor Solomon, Destiny. These are the players that came in, and the reason why I can't give this an 8 out of 10 is because we sold our best player and didn't you can't like for like replace Harry Kane. Even with Mbappe, I wouldn't say it's a like for like, but we didn't go out and buy a striker. I think we should have. We should have. You can say Veliz a striker, but he's 19. He's not. He's not going to set the world alight, is he? The other thing we desperately needed was another centre back. And if we had got a striker in who was fairly decent, Auburn, I have no idea other than YouTube compilations, and I don't think there's too many people who watch the Belgian league too much. So we are going off YouTube, right, with him. Other than him and is it Jonathan David?
Oh, is it Lille striker?
Yeah, I've seen him play.
Canadian?
So I've seen him play twice. The first game, I didn't realise he was on the pitch. I'll be honest with you. In the second game, I thought it was actually quite good. But that's in a farmers league. And so, again, I don't know, right? You just don't know. But we were missing a striker and we were missing a centre-back. Talking about Brennan Johnson, I think that he is a very, very quick player. He's going to have to increase his technical skills. I know that the club are trying to put out some stuff. Who's going walkabout? Have we got ghosts on this podcast?
Because what is that? I can hear someone walking.
Ross, is that you? Have you got...
I'll be back. I desperately need to go. I'll be back in 1 second. Sorry.
Right. So, yeah, what we've got is we've got a bunch of players which are good, and I've just gone back to my old point. Let's talk about Brennan Johnson. Wow, that's amazing, right? You can tell I'm getting old. So Brennan Johnson, I think that he definitely needs to increase his technical ability. Can't get the words out. Is he going to play instead of Kulusevski? I don't know. And you're right, mate. Where do you play him? he can play on the left. He can play through the centre. If you speak to some Nottingham Forest fans, like some of them have said to me, they would love to see him up front. But I don't know. I mean, he's not put as a striker on the Tottenham Hotspur website, is he? So that's going to be an interesting one to see where he plays. Do you think he starts against Sheffield United?
No.
No. Look, we're not going to really cover Sheffield United too much in this pod. We'll come back like just before, after the international break has ended, and we can say that Perchy's in the mud after Richarlison scored 6 goals in those 2 games. But I think he's a decent player, and I'm only saying that because of what Forest fans have said who are here in Cyprus. One of them is an ex-season ticket holder. The other one, he's been in Cyprus for ages, but he watches them like religiously. And he said we've got an amazing talent on our hands, he's nowhere near hitting his ceiling with regards to potential. So that's interesting. I don't know. Does he start? Does he start against Sheffield United?
Yeah.
In place of?
Kulusevski.
Do you think we could? Do you think Postecoglou might put Kulusevski on the left?
No.
You think?
Actually, I don't know. Actually, he'll start. It'll be one of him or Solomon or Kulusevski that dropped. One of the two.
I mean,
I'm not sure.
You could always play Decky in the Maddison role if needed.
Yeah,
I mean,
he wants to
that
play
has
that
been
role as well. He wants to do it.
So I think it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's lovely to have these options. I'd rather have these problems than not have them.
Yep.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And just talking about Porro a minute, he had a great game. Now, you can say that the first goal was down to him. I suppose
Yeah,
it
but
was.
his pass for Sonny, one of Sonny's goals was just, it was dirty, filthy thing.
Could you imagine?
Beautiful.
Could you imagine Royale playing a pass like that?
I can imagine him trying to, but it wouldn't come off.
It would be a no-look pass, right? That's what they do.
Yeah.
You'd have Sonny still
It'd
running
hit a
onto
corner
it.
flag. I was going to say, it'd hit a corner flag, I just don't know which one. But, oh, bless him.
Right, let's turn to a question. So, Pjanic at the Isco, I think that's how you pronounce it, on Reddit. Have you got it open, mate? Ross, you want to read it out? That's the first one.
Just
I'll
2
put you on the
secs.
I'll put you on the spot.
Proper on the spot. I can't believe. But if
We
reckon
come so
if
prepared. We come so prepared to this podcast. You know what I mean?
Okay, if Daniel Levy decided to follow his one true passion and then he puts touring the world as a pitbull cover act, who would you like to be nominated as chairman from either inside or outside the club? Oh, I can't get that pitbull cover act out of my head now. Who would you like to be chairman? Who'd be fun? We just need some fun.
Elon Musk.
No, it would
Why?
change the name of the club.
No, he wouldn't be allowed to. But
I'm not going to be called XFC for sake. No, I want something a bit bonkers, but not that bonkers.
I'd
Perchy?
I'd go.
Give
with
it to
you.
Perchy.
Go on, Perchy.
Oh,
over
I'd
to
do
you.
it. I would do it any day of the week. There we go. I'm in.
Well,
Yeah,
Perchy.
Perchy.
Richarlison would have to hide. I mean, you'd.
Nah, he wouldn't. He would play better when I'm in charge because he won't get away with it as easy.
Just Perchy running after him with some sort of weapon going, play better, you bastard.
Jeez, I'm not running away with a weapon. Jeez.
So cable guy Smith on Reddit says if Poch Mourinho Conte had a lemon party, he would primarily hold the camera, and who would be the power bottom? Perchy, over to you, mate.
Sorry, what?
Right, just Google lemon party. Ross.
Lemon party?
Yeah, Ross, over to you. You know, I think we're old enough to know what this is. Don't Google this on your work laptop, mate.
I don't have a job.
Oh,
No, not
Hey,
you.
just-
I'm talking about Perchy.
Let's guess.
I can hear him googling it.
oh my gosh, what is this? I'm not answering that one. Screw that.
I think the pod should be called Lemon Party. I want to see how many people actually get it. So I should.
Don't.
Well,
Disclaimer: do not search it. I'm just saying.
So you've got Poch, Mourinho, and Conte. Now that you've been educated into what a lemon party is, Perchy, does Poch hold the camera, or is he the power bottom?
No, he's the latter.
He's put on a bit of timber recently, so...
Yeah, he's the latter still. He isn't the cameraman, I'm just saying that.
So what's Mourinho doing in this trio at the lemon party?
Mourinho's trying to figure out how we can get Højbjerg involved.
Ross and Conte is what?
Do you know what? I've just got this awful image of Conte and Mourinho in their underwear arguing who's going to be the power bottom. And just trying to fight over each other.
What is happening?
Could you imagine if halfway through Conte's wig just fell off because of the sweat?
Unbelievable. What is happening?
All the lube and sweat that's flying around and his hair just flops on the floor.
And he carries on speaking.
You've got to have some fun. Come on, it's an international break.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's a good point, actually. Yeah, I mean, it's not like there's anything important to talk about anymore.
Exactly. I mean, is there actually anything important to talk about other than the fact that we've had a stupid break 4 games into the season?
Yeah, who booked that for fuck's sake?
It happens every season, to be fair. It just felt like for the last few years that it was the best break we needed. Like, I actually enjoy watching us play football again. Now I'm like, oh, come on.
You know what I would love? I would love it if UEFA or FIFA, whoever it was, and I think this was, what I'm about to say was mentioned a few years ago. So I heard it either on the Athletic or on the Guardian pod, where what they do is they have a window where all the international breaks throughout the season are played. And it might be a month off from football, fair enough. But you've just got that month and then it's done with. And that's it. And it's like once a year. Because we've got 2 coming up, right? We've got one now, one in October.
Yeah, that happens every year, though. I know it
happens every year, but every year we moan about it. Right?
Oh, it's so dull. That's not true. That's not true. I didn't moan about it last year or the year before that. I enjoyed it. I was like, I'm so happy.
To be fair, we needed that break last year. But now we're on a roll. Do you know what I mean? And it's...
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, I agree with that.
And it's not really something we... anyway.
You could finish the league a month earlier, and then they could all get together a month before tournaments, and we'd be better for it. See, we've solved football. We've worked it out.
Solved football. Amazing.
Well, all of it can just be sorted out.
All the issues are done because of this podcast. That's it. We're the greatest, and what?
And we talked about 3 men and a wig.
Yeah, okay. You want to bring it up so much, it's worrying me now.
Right, so let's
unbelievable.
Let's talk about a 4th man then, James Maddison.
Oh.
So I'm going to tell you why I gave it an 8 out of 10, and it's because of James Maddison. And I mean, I've said it before, and many people have said it. It looks like he's been playing for us for years. He just gets it. He gets us as the fans. It looks like he's a fan himself, even though I don't think he is. Was he born in Coventry or somewhere there? He's probably a Coventry.
Covo fan.
He probably is, right?
No, he is. He is a Coventry fan.
Right. And so, yeah, Spurs are the club, or his big club now, and he plays for him. But you know what? A lot of people are saying, was he that good at Leicester? Was he that amazing? And so I reached out to Robbo, who is a friend of mine who is a Leicester fan. He's a season ticket holder. He lives in London. And I asked him the same question. Was James Maddison as good as he is for Tottenham Hotspur when he was at Leicester? Absolutely no, he said. Where was this player? He had glimpses of it, but he is a different man. Those were his words. He's a different man now. And that got me thinking. Has he got 3 kids now? He's got twins and he's got 3 kids. Yeah. Again, he's at the age where maturity really starts to sink in. He's probably realised as well, brought on by maturity, that with Harry Kane gone, this club needs a main man, a main focal point. Obviously, we prefer if it was all the team, but we need that one person. And he said, you know what, I'm going to be that person. He loves the attacking style, definitely. I mean, I heard there was one of his ex-managers I think it was maybe Brendan Rodgers. He was on Talksport today, and he said he loves to be in a team that's attacking, and he's taken it on with both hands, and he's just said, you know what, this is my turn, this is my time, and I'm gonna go for it. And I think that the way that he plays, his infectious personality, because let's be honest, if you listen to every other footballer, I mean, Harry Kane was the lowest of the low when it came to interviews, boring as shit. Right? But I think he's just that kind of personality. It's a boring guy. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
But you've got James Maddison, who is unconventional. He doesn't talk the same way other footballers talk. He just talks. Like, it doesn't matter who the interviewer is. He'll talk to them like, you know, I'm just answering your question. And I'm going to answer it. I don't care what my PR or media team tell me to do, or the club tells me to do. I'm going to answer it the way I see fit. And I think that the way that he is in training every day, and the fact that we've got this momentum at the club, is basically rubbing off on everyone. And I've got this feeling where, hold on, Netflix has just come on. Give me a sec, guys. Carry on talking.
Whereas as James is watching,
Well,
James is now watching something on Netflix whilst he's meant to be doing a very important podcast. I think we are. I think James Maddison's an absolute revelation, Ross. Do you think?
It does feel like, as James said, he's been here for ages, but he fits in like a glove.
It feels like he's been here for a decade, doesn't it?
It does, and he just brings he's a player that we've not had since just about Ericsson. Even though Ericsson didn't really play off the striker a lot, he's like a hybrid of Dele Alli and Ericsson, and we've been crying out for this player for years. And for the fact that he's actually doing it and he's pulling everyone together, and he's really embraced this culture that Angie's creating, and that's just been great. You don't normally see that in a new signing. They always talk about bedding in and all that. He's just come in and gone, you're right, guys, let's do this. And it's just been like, yay!
Do you know what the one thing I really liked about it? And it sounds so silly, but hear me out and just like playing with what I'm trying to say here. He could have come in and gone, nah, I'm not going to take the number 10. Like, I know, because they knew Kane was going. He knew Kane was going, right? He could have easily just gone, nah, I'll have a 25 or, do you know what I mean? A random number.
Yeah.
I'd have whatever. He's gone, no. Once Kane goes, I'm having number 10. Like, do you remember back in the day when at Man United when they sold Ronaldo, and what did they do? They gave the number 7 to Antonio Valencia. Do you know what he did a year after?
Wow.
What?
After a year of having the number 7 shirt, he went back to Man United and said, I'm not having that shirt, it's too heavy for me. And went and got his 25 that he had back on. I mean, Maddison's just come in and gone. I'm not putting him in the same conversation, obviously, but my point being is he's come in and gone, no, that's my number, I'm having it, and I'm going to be the new talisman at this football club.
Yeah, he's gone, yeah, it is a proper, no, I want it. I'll have it. Like, some people be like, as you said, oh, the weight of the number, it's just a fucking number. And it's too heavy. But as you said, he's revelled in it, and it doesn't matter what number you got on the back of your shirt and all that rubbish. He's playing how he wants to play, and he's been given the license to. And we've reaped the rewards so much in the way that he can start moves from picking the ball up off the defenders, and then he's off, and then we're off, and it's great. It's great. Hopefully he stays fit, and Southgate doesn't, bury him.
And how many goals do you think he's going to score this season?
This season, goals-wise? Oh, yeah, go, Ross. You go first.
I think he'll have 30 goal... What is it? What do the kids now say?
Goal contributions.
That's it. Yeah, I think he'll have 30 plus goal contributions, which obviously involves goals and assists.
But how many goals do you think he'll score?
15.
So he's just got 13. You think he's going to score as many as Richarlison? Wow. You don't think he'll score more?
Yeah. No, he'll start taking
the
free
fact
kicks.
You think Richarlison's scoring 15 is mad, but anyway. He's going to get... Maddison's going to get. I agree with Ross. I think he's going to get north of 30 goal contributions. I think he'll score 13 goals. 13, I'm going with. But he's already scored 2 already. So I sit back and go, do you know what? He could easily, if he keeps playing the way he does at this level, he could easily go and get 20 goals this season. If he keeps playing the way he plays, right? So listen, I think he will get. I agree with Ross. He'll get about 30 goal contributions this season if he stays fit all season, of course. If he doesn't get an injury and all that lot, I don't see why not. I think he's good enough to as well.
Well, do you want to hear about a nightmare that I had? It was just after.
Did it involve Richarlison up top?
No, it didn't. James Maddison was there, and it was. I had it the day after. Well, no, the night of the Burnley game. It was terrible. Postecoglou dies. He died of a heart attack.
Bloody hell!
I know. I'm sorry to say that. I'm just telling you how it is. And it was really.
Sorry, hang on a minute. Sorry, you dreamt about this. Like, who goes to? This is a nightmare you had. That's mental.
It was a nightmare, and it wasn't funny, but James Maddison. I remember it so vividly. He was in this nightmare. But he was a mini version of James Maddison, and he was Postecoglou's son, and he was speaking Greek. And I remember the funeral so well, and that's it. And there was I remember it was
Perchy, make him stop.
Honestly,
no,
sorry, James, can you stop drinking before you go to bed? I think that now has to happen. Or whatever it is, whatever your nighttime routine is, must stop now. He's sat there just drinking, watching like Tottenham replays of the season already, and then he's passed out and then just had an absolute nightmare. That's what I think's happened. I'm blaming the Scotch whiskey.
Oh, to be fair, so I've had one of my clients, my biggest client, the Australian. He's been in Cyprus all this week, and I haven't drank as much as I have this week for years. But this
fine then. You need to carry on going back to drinking. That's what's caused it. It's the opposite effect.
It's the drinking. I mean, the dream happened on Saturday, so it was. I was gonna tweet about it. I thought no, I didn't. I wasn't sure if I should mention it in this pod, but seeing as we mentioned lemon parties, I thought I'll tell you about this nightmare.
Amazing.
As well. So. Gilf Lover 69 on Reddit says, would you rather go back in time to witness the 60-61 double or back to 66 to witness England's World Cup win?
Oh.
Really? You have to even think about that?
Oh, I don't know.
I'll go back to the double.
Oh, the doubles. No, but the reason why I think that I'm actually questioning it is that England have only ever won the World Cup once, right? So it's like a once in a lifetime moment. England, Spurs have won other trophies, right? Or actually, I don't know. Actually, it's
Spurs, we haven't won a double since, have we?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll go double, but it isn't. I think it's not as easy as you make it out to be. Because England have never won a trophy before or after that.
So I can answer this question. What I would do is I would go back to the 1960 and 61 season, and then when I had to get into this time machine to take me back to 2023, I said no, I'm staying, and I would make sure I had some lottery numbers with me for when did it start? 1994, and I would then get to watch also the 1966 World Cup. So there you go, Gilf Lover. Hopefully that's
that's quite a smart one. I see what you've done.
I'm not just a pretty face. And apparently I've got the same hairstyle as you, which absolutely not. What the hell was that guy talking about? It's Sav, is that his name? Sav.
Big up Sava.
Did he listen to this? I won him one actually. I quite liked him. It'd be nice to have another person with a bit of Cypriot blood. I'm sure he's with a name like Savas.
He is, yeah.
He must have some Cypriot blood in him. Right, so we've got to read this one out because, in fact, before we read this next one out, and you can read it out, Perchy, it's the wifey.
I haven't got my phone on me. 1 second.
Right, so before we read this one out, and it's the wifey don't know I'm here one.
I'm just looking at that one.
So tell us about Manchester United and Anthony. Ross?
I don't know how much we can talk about, can we? But at the minute, apparently some ex-girlfriend of Anthony has come out and said he used to, allegedly, any lawyers listening, beat her up. And he then got pulled from the Brazil squad. I mean, this is after he released a statement, I think, saying that he didn't do it.
Does he know who did?
I don't know. He was at a lemon party at the time. He then got pulled from the Brazil squad, and then Man United released a statement. So I've not read the statement, but from what other people are saying, they've released a statement without actually saying anything, and it has this kind of, well, we're going to do something, we're just not sure yet. And considering this is the second time after the new Getafe striker has been unveiled, it's just really not a good look, and more so after what's happened with their sale. It's Man U really are just in an absolute pile of crap at the minute.
Did he in his statement? I haven't read it, but did he confirm that he was that she wouldn't pass him the peroxide, and so that's why he gave her a little bit of a.
He denied. Yeah, but he denied all allegations though.
Did he?
He's denied all allegations. Now Man United have put out a statement about it today. It just doesn't look good with the whole Mason Greenwood situation. That like everything that's seeming like and I think Ross has got a point. I think it has had an impact on their sale. I think they've gone back and gone, do you know what? We can get this cheaper. But I know it sounds bad, but that's how these people think, right? They'll go, do you know what? They're in absolute horror show publicity. We can get a cheaper deal than what's on the table. Right, that'd be their mindset.
Well, before I give you some ITK on what's happening in Qatar,
do
you want to read out the wifey?
Sure, I've picked up my phone now, and then we can read out. Thank you, wifey. Don't know I'm here. Big up to you, and I hope you're watching. Thumbs up to you.
Well, watching it'll be difficult unless
rumours that Yassim and Ratcliffe are pulled out of Bayern Man United. Shit, scum, fat wank bastards. Lovely. Do you see either of those rich mofos washing their ill-gotten gains to Tottenham Hotspur Limited? Discuss, boys.
Do you want me to go? Do you want to show you the ITK?
Yeah, go on.
So this is from the horse's mouth.
This is breaking news, by the way.
And it's not Yassim, it's Jassim. So the thing with Qatar is, I advise anyone who wants to go out there. It's a nice country. It really is. It's a bit small, but they're trying to change their profile. Okay, and that's my 2 cents towards the country. But I'll tell you what's happening there. They've decided to not go down, or they decided 2 years ago, before Saudi did what they did, because Saudi have had their plans to do what they're doing now for every year. So they had a choice to either pump a lot of money, because they are the world's richest country, believe it or not, Qatar. They decided they could either do what Saudi is doing and create a league, but the problem with that is their country's too small. They had the stadiums, and it was one of the reasons why they went in, but then they decided, no, what we need to do is change our image worldwide. And if we can invest in a lot of things, and we're talking about fundamental cultural things worldwide, such as buying Harrods and buying multiple different things, then we would prefer to raise our profile, or part of it, that way, as well as doing away with the various employment laws that they have, which doesn't matter what you say about them, they're true. They are ridiculous. They've got away with a lot of that stuff now. So, for instance, when you were out there as a worker, they could, your employer would withhold your passport, and you weren't allowed to leave, and the conditions were horrendous. So in Cyprus it's hot, but there, for instance, in Qatar in August it can get to 60 degrees 2 weeks running. And if you're working out in the sun, and they can also threaten you, and nothing can happen to these employees. No, we're not going to give you water, we're not going to give you this and that and whatever. But that's changing. And so what they decided to do was, one of the things was buy a Premier League football club. Thing is, Sheikh Jassim never got the memo. I mean, he got the memo, but this was going to be done through QSI. And Jassim is the owner of QNB. It's the world's richest bank, Qatar National Bank. And so what he was going to do, or he still might do, although news is that it's not going to happen right now, is that he was going to fund this via his company, and he's a very wealthy man, by the way. Very, very wealthy man. He wasn't given the blessing, though, from the Emir on this, and you've got to understand that in really large organisations such as QSI, you have some people who will say, no, we believe in what Jassim's doing and we should back him, and you've got other people saying, no, we shouldn't. We need to be in charge of this and not have some other person who is going to use his own funds and the funds of QNB, which is the biggest bank there, to do this with. And so what's happened now is the Glazers have backed out. Jassim never backed out. I know that some people said he did. He didn't back out at all. But Glazers believe that they can sell this for north of £8 billion. And I don't know how they believe that when they need £1 billion just to redo Old Trafford, if they're going to make it into a super stadium. They need a lot of money to redo their training complex. And so what do I believe will happen? This is me making this up, but based on something that I have been told, mildly told. QSI will look to buy Joe Lewis's shares in ENIC, ENIC's share of Tottenham Hotspur. So Joe Lewis did buy those shares. He then gave it into the trust, which is run by his family or for his family, and QSI would like that to happen. They wouldn't like to be the minority shareholder. There are some bumps in the road if that's to happen, okay, because it would be difficult to own two Champions League clubs, I believe. They're not too happy with PSG at all. They're not too happy with the way things have gone there, and they've decided to cease massive investment in PSG. And would I like QSI to buy the majority shares of Tottenham Hotspur? Yes, I would, because the way that we're run right now is we're a club that is owned by an investment firm, and if we were sold to a hedge fund, it's exactly the same thing, where there is speculation there, but they have other members of that hedge fund which they have to answer to. And there aren't too many multi-billionaires who can buy Tottenham Hotspur. There aren't. There's maybe 100 in the world who can buy it. And out of these 100, how many are interested in doing that? QSI are interested. And they would love a club in London. And I've said this before. And so if they do buy, I know that a lot of people would feel like alienated because Tottenham Hotspur, especially there are different groups, LGBT groups and whatever, and they would say, well, this isn't the Tottenham that I support. And to what I would say to that is, well, they're not. If QSI buy, I've got to be careful how I say this. If QSI do buy Spurs, at least a majority shareholding of Tottenham Hotspur. Oh, and I need to caveat this by saying that Daniel Levy would probably stay on board for the next 10 years. But the speculation, he would have a budget that was far bigger than what he's ever had before. Okay, so talking about different groups like LGBTQ groups, yeah, they would feel, as I've spoken to some friends of mine, and they've said to me, one of them said doesn't care. Another one has said, well, I don't think I could support Spurs. And I had to ask why. They said, well, James, you're not gay, you don't understand how we feel. And especially, I would never not even consider going to a country like Qatar or Saudi Arabia, okay, because it's criminal offence for me being gay. Why? Why is that? And I understand it, I do. But then again, you could say that they're not asking you to stop being engaged because they're owners of Tottenham Hotspur. Am I saying this right, guys? Do any of you understand where I'm going with this? I'm trying to articulate as best I can, but I think I'm...
No, you don't.
It's hard because I'm not a big fan of any kind of big corporation coming in or state-owned, something, whatever you want. and ploughing in millions and billions and all that. But then that's the way that football's going. And if we do want to be the likes of Man City, Arsenal, and soon to be Newcastle, we may have to go down this route of having this injection of huge funds. And then I just don't want to lose that. This is going to sound so soft and wokey, I know, but I just don't want to lose what that club means to a lot of us. And it is a beautiful club. It annoys us, it frustrates us, but like anything you love in life, you still go back to it. And I don't want that to be lost in QSI or whoever it is would come in and plough billions and trillions into the club. We do have a wonderful stadium, we're very lucky. We do have a wonderful training ground, we're very lucky. We haven't won anything, so maybe the only way we're going to is to have this sort of injection.
Perchy, what do you think, mate?
No, listen, I get the sentiment from certain certain groups. I understand it, but listen, I just want to be excited with us. And when I say about excited, I mean I want us to be excited, but I also want to be at a stage where we go, do you know what? Like, we need this and we get this. Like, I just want to be at a stage where we are competing at the top table again. That might make me sound very superficial, but listen, I want to see Tottenham win the Premier League. Do I think we're going to win it under the ownership model that we are at the moment? Probably not. So that's the best way I can articulate it. As simple as that, really.
Well, Content87 on Reddit says, "Are we title contenders?" And to that, I just have to say to him or her, we're going to win the effing league. And if we carry on playing like this...
Don't do it to yourself.
Oh, I don't know, mate. I'm happy. So am I. I'm happy too. I haven't been happy being a Spurs fan for a few years. I would say the last time I was properly happy was in the last euphoric moment. I would say was when we played Ajax in that semi-final in 2019.
Yeah, that's fair.
And yeah, I think we are top contenders. Now let's wrap up the show. So the Lemon Party's just finished. And Super Mario 222
seriously
on Reddit asks, so Poch Conte Mourinho, they've just finished their lemon party. He hasn't said that, I've added that in. Who's winning in an all-out brawl, Ross?
Oh, the fat Argentinians winning that. The other two, I mean, I can see Mourinho getting knocked out quite early. I reckon Conte would just scratch his way, and then the Chelsea manager would thump him.
You don't think?
And yes, I'm going the whole season. I'm not going to say his name for the whole season now. I'm that petty.
Yeah, good. The Chelsea manager, I like it.
You don't think that Poch will just get out his lemons and start throwing them?
Just leave the lemons alone.
No, but he loves lemons. You know that, right?
Unbelievable.
He's got a thing for lemons. Letterboy123. Do you want to read that, Perchy? Over to you. This is a really
Go on then,
question.
let me read it out. Letterboy.
It's penultimate one right at the bottom.
Right at the bottom.
Letterboy123, yeah. It's a perfect question for you to read out.
I'm looking for Letterboy. I can't see it. Am I going mad?
Right, you have to read this one out. It says, who would... At the bottom.
Oh, here. Oh, yes. So, yes. Who would you rather beat up, a 3-year-old Arsenal fan or a 72-year-old beautiful woman?
I suppose it depends on which football team she supports.
I love how that is the metric. Well, that's the metric.
Because otherwise, if she's an Arsenal fan as well, I'll do them two for the price of one. Not a problem.
Unbelievable. What is this?
Sorry,
this is the content people want, by the way. The fans want this.
They do. They do. And I'm happy to give it to them. I'm not that 3-year-old sparky.
I'm going to deck the Arsenal fans. Screw him. Little rat.
It doesn't say him. It could be a 3-year-old little girl with pigtails. You're a dirty.
Yeah, true. It could be. Screw him.
You're out of order.
Sport Arsenal. It's your own fault. That's just gonna get clipped now, isn't it? Oh, this is so stupid. No, I don't. I do not condone violence to anybody.
Apart from if they're a 3-year-old Arsenal kid.
Apart from if you're a 3-year-old kid. Brilliant. Yeah, no. Nobody hurt other people. It's not nice. Come on, guys. Be nice to one another.
I think we've got an
I would
American.
adopt a 3-year-old and turn him into a Spurs.
Just decked him. Goodbye.
And I think for the last question, it looks like an American listener because there's a word in there which makes me cringe. Ross, you want to read out the one from owner of the boner? What a great Reddit name.
Owner of the boner.
It's the last one.
If
mate.
you could put Eric Lamella's passion into any current roasted player, who would you choose? And someone's answered, Ndombele with 10% of Lamella's passion is winning the Ballon d'Or. No.
Eric Lamella. Don't get me started on him.
Eric Lamella's passion. So who would you inject that to? I would give it to... I don't know, really. All our players are all right at the minute. I mean...
Richarlison.
Nah, he's got too much passion.
Yeah, that's true.
You need to deduct it.
It's an easy one, guys.
Is it?
Go on.
Yeah. So I told you before that I really believe that Pat Matasar? He has the attributes of a young Patrick Vieira. I remember Patrick Vieira very well. I remember it like yesterday when he joined in 1996 for 2.3 million, I think it was. Well, where'd that memory come from? And I remember how he used to play. And a year after, so in the 97-98 season, when I think Emmanuel Petit joined, and what happened was that he matured really quickly. I'm talking about Patrick Vieira. And he had this, like, I don't give a shit about anyone kind of attitude. And I think that if we could inject some of that into Pat Matasar, we would have one of the greatest players that this club has ever seen. So I think that's the one thing that's missing from his game, other than the fact that I hope that we see him through to his maturity. If he can have that bullish behaviour, that arrogance about him as well, then we have already one of the best midfields in the Premier League, but we would have one of the best midfields in the world. So I think that's the end of it. Any other bits and pieces you guys want to talk about?
No, I think we've hit the nail on the head.
No. How are your Arsenal sponsored video streams going, Perchy?
Arsenal sponsored video streams. Gosh, how old are you?
Come on.
Unbelievable.
Well,
my streams are doing absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much. I'm up to 2,158 subscribers. So if you're new to this, then go over there to @the_Perchy TV. Jump in there.
So you still
We're on the road to.
Still can't even say our podcast name. If you're new to you about to call it a channel. We're not a channel. We are a podcast called the Hotspur Way.
We will be doing. How about this? We will do it. I will have you on my channel to promote it. We'll have an actual thing on there and have a debate on there. How about that?
All right, cool. Do you know how comes we own hotspurway.com and the club doesn't own it? Do you know how that came to be about? Did I tell you guys what happened?
How?
Did you speak to Donna?
No, I didn't.
he had some sort of relations with Donna, hasn't he? He's got something going on. He loves her so much.
No, so what happened was back in 2010, they had applied for Hotspur Way to be the actual road. So what you do is you make some planning applications. They had applied in, was it 2010 or 2011? I think 2010, if I'm not mistaken. And what had happened at the time was a friend of mine at the council was working there, and they SMS'd me. It was before we were using WhatsApp, and they said, "Oh, Tottenham are going to call a road Hotspur Way," and I was on GoDaddy.com at the time, and I just wrote in hotspurway.com. It was available, and I bought it. And I don't know if it's the club who've been trying to buy it off me for a few years, but I keep getting derisory offers, so I'm just Daniel levying it all the way. It's like, you want it, it's 100,000, there you go. And no, they're not coming back to me. So we have hotspurway.com. And that's that. So guys, please leave a 5-star review and click away, just like Perchy's doing right now.
That's not me. Don't blame me. That's not me. That's Ross.
Ross.
Unbelievable. I get blamed.
You're looking at lemon pie pictures, aren't you? You just can't help yourself.
I'm looking at Donna Cullen pictures, just see how you like it. I don't know.
Oh God.
She's a great professional, and this is why I've said it before. I don't understand.
Oh, honestly,
some of the
you
decisions.
love her so much,
mate. I've worked with her. That's why some of the decisions that the club is making are it beggars belief. She must say to Daniel Levy, listen, please don't do this. And the more she probably says it to him, the more he does it. Then he must get a thrill out of it. So it can't be her because she knows, she understands what PR is. She really does.
Donna, I love you. Yeah, she gets it. She's amazing.
I never said
We
I
get
love
it.
her. I think she's
You love
professional.
Donna Collin. Thank you. So move on. Gosh, honestly,
can't move on.
You pine after her.
So that's it. Listen, we're going to be back. It's the first time you two are listening to this, and what I'm about to say, actually. So
great.
I'm going to do I want us to do a pod next week, maybe on a Wednesday. See what our schedules are like. And it's going to be why we support Tottenham Hotspur. It was a good idea from an American friend of mine who said to me, which team should I support? I know you support Spurs, but why? And then so I turned it around and I said, well, which basketball team should I support? And he said, well, what's the criteria? And I said, I love a story of an underdog and also a team that excites people. So what club has history in that? And I'm still waiting for him to get back to me. And I think it would be good for us to discuss that and hopefully have Spooky on as well. And we can look back at some of the history of Spurs and why we support Tottenham Hotspur and what it means to us. And then we'll also have a Sheffield United preview as well. So go ahead, leave a 5-star review, and look forward to seeing you soon. By the way, do follow us on Twitter, Hotspur Way Show. It'd be nice if we had more followers on there. I don't understand we've got loads of people who comment and stuff, but how many followers do we have? Is anyone on Twitter right now?
Let me just look on there. The Hotspur Way podcast has 309 followers.
That's terrible, because I keep seeing these tweets saying no Spurs fan should be without 500 followers or 1,000 followers, and then they put a picture of something which excites you, and then you read it, and it's like, oh, fuck off. I think we should get to 500 followers, don't you think? What do you think, guys? Because we're getting quite a few listens now. We're getting quite a few people listening to the show. We're about to break the 1,000 mark, which is great, you know, and then onwards and upwards from there. So good. So Perchy, off you go. Enjoy your lemon party.
I'm not. It's not a lemon party.
Well,
I mean, I'm at a dentist. It's even worse.
Yeah, really? So you're going to be in a dentist chair while it's happening to you?
Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable.
I mean, do your parents listen to this show? Do they?
I don't think my mother does watch it. I'll be honest. My dad definitely doesn't. Doesn't like football, so he'd be like, nah, screw that. But yeah,
I suppose you could watch it via YouTube. So we do have a YouTube channel as well, and it's just this podcast with our logo throughout the whole thing. Soon we will start to do some clips, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. Anyway, guys, till the next time.
Awesome.
Love you loads, and enjoy Richarlison scoring a bucket load. And
what a player!
He is. He will be. You will see. Just give him some.
Awesome.
Give him some time. All right, guys. Cheers. Speak to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.